Today we got a new topic and I'll show you a little bit how we can control working with the machine and how I work with clipper over comb and with clipper guards. So let's not wait, let's tune in, man. So you guys, welcome to the tutorial. So I will show you guys a little bit how I work on the mannequin and how I do clipper over comb and I do with the clipper guards. So for me, it's very important that you know what kind of combs you got. So I got 4 of them and I start with the thicker comb. I use this one because I also use a clipper guard 1.5. Yeah, so these two are combined. Yeah? The next step is I got 2. This is a standard wild comb for the #1 guard, and same with the new comb, the speed comb from Wild. And I got my normal cut comb, and I use the half guard. So these are combined as well. I will go into depth with that, but first I show you how I parture my mannequin, and I will show you the first steps of how I start. First of all, what I'm gonna do, I'll make a horseshoe. Always make your partings as straight as possible. I know with a mannequin it's kind of difficult because they put the hairs in a really weird way, but this is just for the tutorial, so you practically know how you do it and why you do it. I don't use clips, I use strips. You also see what I did, right? So I take my point of my comb, go into it, hold the hair from the top side so you can easily comb things down, and you got a straight line. So again, hold it, comb it, there you go, put it aside. Yeah. To the back side. Always remember, you're making partings because it's a guideline for how you need to hold your hands, your fingers, or your comb as well. So it mostly, if you have a straight line, it's mostly the parallel line of how you should hold your fingers and hold your comb. So first things first, clean your clippers. I use an ice blade. I let the motor just walk. Let it run. Open it up. Clean in between. And also between the blades. Yeah. Then I use a brush so everything is gone. Everything is nice and clean. Yeah. And then a little bit of oil. Let the motor run. 3 drops, 1 in the middle and 2 on the sides. And sometimes I just let it drop into the holes and I let it run for a couple of minutes and then open and close my blades. What you gotta bear in mind is you have to have your customer or client always straight in the chair, because if you don't do it, and if somebody is doing like this, your whole fade or your baseline will be all crooked. Yeah, so bear that in mind. So first thing first, your body is always a tool. So if you have your body in a straight line, you always work in straight line. So don't let it hang loose, because you see what's happening. So if you straighten everything out, everything will be much straighter and more consistent, right? So don't hold it like this, you know, the machine is not comfortable in your hand, you know, just hold it. This is why WOW got like a, yeah, there's a little bit of a gap in it, so you can hold your thumb into it, and as well at the back side. I don't know how it is with other clippers, but mainly I use it as well. Yeah. So baseline is always from the temple in the area going down to the occipital bone, and then the other side as well. So it always goes into a sort of kind of triangle. What I always do is take all the hair, pull it up to the baseline, and you determine by yourself how short it's gonna be. I get a lot of questions why and how short I wanna go, but that's all up to the client, right? So for this purpose, I will trim it a little bit covered. So I pull up all the hair, and I always start above the ear. Yeah, make it 90 degrees out of it. I pull my arms a little bit up so it's in an angle, and then I make my first line. Yeah? So again, pull everything up. And make a nice straight line. Yeah? So, pull that up. Nice straight line. Yeah? So with a mannequin, it's pretty easy to switch it around. And same procedure here. I follow my parting, so I know it's gonna dip a little bit, so I also use that as a guideline to dip it a little bit. So here's the thing, yeah? If somebody wants to have fenders, you go out straighter like that, yeah? If somebody wants to have a short back as well, you go a little bit rounder with the shape of the head. Yeah, so if somebody wants to have it longer in the backside, you just straighten it out, so you make that angle a little bit longer. Yeah, but that's all preference from the customer itself. So take all the hair, go to that baseline, take it out. Yeah, so here's a little trick that I use as well. That is, I don't stop here, I cross it a little bit further over the middle line. So the diagonal section goes here. If you start in the front, then afterwards you go here and you do that same thing, you already got the V shape and you don't have to make it yourself. Okay? So take everything up, take the short end, cross it a little bit, cross it. See that? So now you see that diagonal shape there. Yeah? Leave it like that and switch to the other side. Okay. So same procedure here as well. Get everything up. Yeah? Start above the ear. Straight line. And connect it as well. Then go dipping again, you know, a little bit, and make the diagonal section as well. Yeah. Cross over again, and look what you see. It connects directly with each other, and you don't have to do other sorts of things. And for the preference of the customer, if you want to have it rounder, you make the shape a little bit rounder, because you only have to do this then. Or when somebody has it straight, make it straight, yeah? So, when you have done that, yeah, I pull the hair a little bit downwards and then make diagonal sections. Why do I do diagonal sections? Because look, I got a little bit more surface, yeah? And the connection is there already, yeah? So, comb it a little bit downwards. Look up that baseline, make a diagonal section here, and just connect everything. There you go. The thing is when you do straight lines, if you put in pressure and you press too much in the above of the comb, the comb starts going inwards, and then you're getting like layers in your fade because you push to the inside. So the top side of a comb is always thinner because it's kind of like, you see that? It's kind of like a taper, so the top side is always thinner than the bottom side. So what I always do, I push downwards underneath and then shave it off. Yeah? And this is how I connect everything until I'm finished. Same thing in the back side. Comb everything to that baseline and then find a shorter point and do diagonal sections. Comb a little bit down, find that little short part again, and that's how you connect everything also in the back. And you see, I don't make straight lines. I'm always having my comb a little bit in a diagonal kind of form. So you always got the benefit of the most surface you can cut. Yeah. So now we switch to the other side. And bear in mind, yeah, I work in wet hair. Afterwards, when it's dry, I start fading or doing detail work. Dry hair is always just a little bit making form into what kind of haircut you want to go, how short you want to go. And detail work I always do in dry hair because you got more overview of what you're doing. And if you blow dry and the hair starts drying up, the color of the hair always changes. So if you start working in wet hair and you don't have no overview and you start blending and you don't see what you blend, you're only causing troubles for yourself because maybe it's gonna be too short or maybe you should have left it longer. So for overview, always start doing detail work in dry hair. See, and no matter if I go back, it's always in a diagonal section. Why do I do diagonal sections? Everybody knows or should know this. Everything you cut off horizontally, you always check yourself by vertically. So if you're making sections and you cut it off horizontally, you always can check it out vertically, right? So if you use horizontal partings or cuttings, you always check out vertically, yeah? Why I do diagonal sections? Because if you switch it, you already got that two parts in one. So you're checking up yourself in one time already, yeah? And you can always go back in dry hair and check it out vertically, horizontally, okay? And always look up your shortest point here and always go into like a taper downwards. If you look in the mirror, it always has to be straight. If it's not straight in the mirror, you know, you need to straighten it out, yeah? So I already look in the mirror and I need to a little bit more from that baseline again, so it's a little bit nicer. This thick comb helps with cutting more covered kind of sides, right? So it's not see-through, but you got enough hair to maintain enough of the hair so nobody sees that he's kind of like baldish or too short. Because nowadays everybody has skin fades and a lot of guys and cats don't want to have a skin fade. So this is why I use the clipper over comb technique, because it's a little bit nicer, looks professional, and you have a lot more in control, right? Because here's the thing, if you use a clipper guard, yeah? A clipper guard is pretty hard, yeah? It doesn't have no flexibility. You see that? And a comb does have it, because a comb always is flexible and can go with any bump or dent into the hair, yeah? So if you need to have a nice shape and somebody has a really bumpy head, you can always use a comb so it's always on top of the surface, so you don't get into the bump, so you get no strange kind of fades in it or anything like that. Yeah. So if I did it well enough, yeah, I will show you why I said like why the clipper guard and my comb is connected. Yeah. If you had if you had shave off properly, yeah, the clipper guard 1.5, yeah, this one, if you connect it, yeah, if you start fading and like really checking it out, it should just be very fluid and it doesn't come off very much. These two are pretty much the same. So here's what I always see. Always, if you use a clipper guard, always clean out your brushes. Yeah. I don't oil it again, but I clean it. This comb, yeah. If I connect the clipper guard, yeah. If I connect the clipper guard onto my clipper, yeah, and I open it up, it's the bottom half of my comb, yeah. So if I close my clipper down, it's the top half of the comb, yeah. So you always know if you have cut the whole haircut with the top side of that comb, it's always 1.5 closed, yeah. If you shaved off everything from the bottom, it's always number 1.5 open. So I know that I've used the bottom side of the comb, so I should go into it with 1.5 just to check things out if some things are getting off and nothing comes off. So I pretty much hit it on the perfect way. And this is just to make everything a little bit smoother and all the stuff that you forgot to cut off, it blends it a little bit more, yeah? And it's not always necessary, yeah, to use a clipper guard. Because if the fade is nice with just a comb, it's perfect, right? Some people just want to have a taper, and then you just use the taper, close it down, you know, make a little taper in the front, and then use a clipper guard number 1 or a comb, whatever. So this technique, I hope it helps you guys, you know, that you got the combs, they should connect on your clipper guards. Don't have like 40, 50 combs just for having combs. No, you have to have a purpose on it, yeah? So, if I wanted to do the bottom half shorter, I take a shorter comb, yeah, and I do the same technique, use diagonal lines, yeah, with contour lines, because I wanted to have it shorter, like this, yeah, and I wanted to do the bottom half with a clipper guard, same technique. You see that the top side is thinner than the bottom side. Same procedure, you know. If you clip it down with a clipper guard, or if you wanna make it more fluid, the bottom half of the comb is always open, yeah? And the top side of the comb is always closed. Remember that, yeah? So I cut with the bottom side of the comb, so I open it up, yeah? I go with my clipper guard, check if everything is right, get it out, and there you see, it's just taking out the little hairs that I maybe forgot, smoother things out, and that's it. Yeah? And of course, that's the same thing as the last comb. But this one is a little bit different because open is this side, close is the other side. Yeah? Remember that. So, I will show you this little taper in front. Yeah? Turn it around. like that. Open it up. Start fading that one. And this is the bottom half. Close it down. You see, it comes a little bit off. And then you practically finish, right? Yeah. This is mainly the technique that I use with clipper over comb and clipper guards. So remember, how I work is always connect your combs with your clipper guards. So I hope you guys love this, and I hope it helps you a little bit with your career, and I hope you guys make some comments how you thought about this tutorial, and see you next time. Bye bye. So you guys, thank you very much for tuning in to Roots of Barbering tutorials. MJ and me want to thank you guys a lot for tuning in and subscribing, following us, and hope to see you next time. See you soon.